Hello and welcome to Peggy's Tropical Garden. Coming to you with some ibis from the beautiful Florida Keys. As you can see, all are welcome here, so I'm glad you decided to join us. Today I'm going to share with you my collection of crotons as we discuss care tips and just information about the plant in general. This is my front garden. As you can see, just about all of the plants are green. Finding plants for this area is not easy because our South Florida climate is kind of harsh. I need plants here that can tolerate direct sun, are drought tolerant, and can handle the humidity. When it comes to adding a big pop of color in my garden, I count on crotons. Crotons are a tropical evergreen plant that's native to India and Malaysia. They're a perennial shrub with bright, colorful leaves, and they come in a large variety of colors and sizes. Most of them have reds, yellows, greens, orange. You get a little purple even. Some of them have twirly leaves, like this one has spirals, and some stay relatively small, while others can get up to 10 feet tall. This Mammy croton is very common for South Florida. I like the way the rich colors of the croton contrast with the green foliage. Now I'll show you some other varieties in other areas of my gardens while I tell you more about this plant. Believe it or not, crotons are in the euphorbia family. So like most euphorbia, they have that white sap that causes skin irritation and should not be ingested. So you want to take that into consideration when planning where to put your crotons. Now, crotons are tropical plants, and as such, they prefer a warm, humid climate. They do best in temperatures between 70 and 80 degrees, and anything below, say 50, 55, you're going to really start to see them struggle. Okay, crotons prefer and do best in full sun, although some varieties can do well in part shade. In fact, all except the first ones I showed you in my front garden, I have in part shade. But the more light the plant's exposed to, the more vibrant the colors. They prefer a slightly moist soil, but too much water can cause root rot, so you kind of have to find that balance. Notice how the leaves on this croton are slightly wilted. It's because it's ready for some water. But the leaves are just beautiful. It looks like someone painted them with watercolor. I also find it interesting that every leaf on this plant is unique and different. The most success I've had propagating crotons is by, I just got dive bombed by an ibis. That's never happened before. Ibis is trying to kick me out of my own garden. Okay, where was I? All right, propagating the croton. The most success I've had propagating crotons is I take like a 3 to 4 inch stem cutting and I leave some leaves on it. I plant the stem in a pot of moist soil and I keep it in a warm environment, and usually it will root within a month. Now, if you live in an environment where you experience cooler temperatures, colder temperatures, or frost, or any of that, you're going to want to grow your croton in a pot so that you can take it indoors during the winter. In fact, from what I read, some people do grow crotons indoors as houseplants. Now, growing crotons indoors can be tricky because sometimes it's hard to even get them doing well outside. So the key is to try and mimic a tropical environment if you're going to grow them inside. They're going to need plenty of light. They're also going to need humidity, which may mean misting, or you can even try doing a tray under the plant with rocks with water in it as a humidity tray. And you're also going to want to keep it away from drafts. In all honesty, I've never tried growing one indoors, but I know of people who have, and it's been quite difficult. It seems like they were doing well at first and then started experiencing leaf drops. So I just know that it's going to be one of those things, if you're thinking it's going to be a plant that you can buy and put in your home and just leave it, odds are it's not going to go that well. On the other hand, if you're someone who has experienced growing sun-loving succulents, I think you could probably do well with crotons in the home. Something I just thought of that I think is important to share with you is it's not uncommon for crotons to experience shock after they're replanted. I mean, even after just removing them from their nursery pot and planting them into the ground, I have had plants go into full shock and lose every leaf and then come back. And I've also had some that never came back, they just died. So it's not uncommon. So if you see it starting to look a little wilty after you've transplanted it, doesn't mean it's going to die, but yeah, it's experiencing shock, which is very common. For year-round color and texture in your garden, try some crotons. You can't go wrong. I'm always out there trading cuttings, trying to find new varieties. They'll always be a part of my garden. I hope you enjoyed this video. Take time out to do something fabulous in your garden. Bye-bye.